Hi, welcome to Realm of the Sacred Roots. It's been a while since I've been on and I haven't talked to you guys in a while. So I wanted to come in and give you a quick update on what I've been doing and what's been happening sort of magically in my life. And I'm hoping to give you guys some insight onto not only what's happening with me, but maybe you can use it in your own personal life, in your own system and workings that you're doing right now. The last video I believe I did, I informed you guys that I was going to school and I'm taking counseling right now. So I'm getting my graduate degree in counseling, mental health counseling. And I wasn't sure how that would tie in to actually doing spiritual advising. And so, what I decided to do was I have a friend who's a shaman who actually sees clients. She has her own shop and she sees clients. And so she invited me to sit in with her. So I sit in with her about once a week, which is pretty much all the time I have with everything going on. And I have the opportunity to actually be there and talk to people. And not only that, see what I get psychically from these people and how maybe I'm able to help. Well, I didn't really think that's my area. Usually, working with the dead seems to be more my area. However, I guess I really want to label this video as spiritually redefining myself because I'm really trying to find where I fit in with all of this, how this is all tying in together. And that's what I ended up doing. So I sat in with her and to see what I could get. And I guess I should back up a little bit. I used to find information out by other spiritualists telling me what they saw. And of course, everyone says, oh, you're gifted, oh, this or that. And you hear the same thing, but you're like, where is it? Tell me more. I don't get it. And then after that, the animals would sort of teach me and tell me, and the plants would talk to me and teach me, and I would learn from them. After all that, I learned how to see where I was at in the spiritual world by the things that I would fight. So that was the other way that I learned how to gauge where I was at. Because by the demons, literal, or other things that you may have to battle, other entities or whatever, where you stand, what level you're at, where at in the spiritual world. After that was kind of over, now for me it was recognizing what my strengths were, and the way I recognized my strengths was when I was in the shop with my friend and people would come in with their issues or whatever. The things that I was able to pick out more faster, and the things that kind of jumped out at me, I felt like were the things that were my strengths. And so I wanted to give you some examples because I don't know if it's the same with you. When you see another person, are you able to pick out the things that most resonate with you first, which would make sense to me, right? Spirit calls spirit. So for me, Native American, I can usually, like a lady came in and I saw a Native American chief standing behind her on her left side. So I think he was one of her guides. So usually I can pick out those that have either Native American ancestry or Native American spirit guides that are with them. Those are usually easier for me to pick out. What was interesting was a lady came in and I got tribal with her, but for some reason it wasn't clear that it was Native American. And what it was is is it Scottish that have the clans or the Irish? Well, I think it was Scottish, but anyways, she was part of like the clan groups that they have over there, and for me, that was kind of my label or how I saw a tribe would be their clan. So even though she wasn't Native American, um, I still saw a clan. They were behind her. I saw what I would see as tribes behind us. I saw her clan behind her. So that was pretty cool. So it's just me starting to learn. I think a different way of seeing things, a different way of reading people. So that was kind of one example that I thought was interesting. There was another lady that came in and she was sitting next to me and my friend was reading her, but I felt this connection with her, like total connection. And then my friend said, well, you could be the medicine woman of your tribe. And which would have been me, would have been my friend, and now this lady, what we would call the Medawiwin of our tribe. She would have been she was like, and I told her, I said she felt like a sister to me, and that's why, because we have that tie, that spiritual connection, and I wasn't sure, didn't understand why I felt that, but after my friend said that's why, because she could be the medicine woman of her tribe, it made more sense to me after that. Another person came in. My friends call me the death whisperer. So another person came in, and we labeled her the same thing, which was the first, because and people like that, people like us, work in different areas. Like in her case, she worked with. Was she working in C? Oh, what do you call it when you're at the hospital and it's intensive, like an intensive care unit? Like it was like kind of one of those units, and a lot of people would either pass, and she would be that person to be there for them. So with her, a lot of spirits were with her when she walked in the door, when she came in. And she feels for them more than anything else. She has a connection with them. So it was very interesting, and it was nice to meet someone like that. I think a lot of people can do it. I just think a lot of people choose not to do it. It's not that people cannot do it. I think a lot of people would rather not or prefer not to do it. These are just random little stories, but I thought they might be interested. I wanted to also mention witchcraft or magic in the current presently or in a past life. I could tell if somebody, like, people will come in and say they have no connection with magic, because I'll ask if they dabble, because I pick up on those vibes, on the magic, kind of that vibe. And some people you can tell they do, and others you realize it was a past life that they were, because that magic is so strong on them that some of them, when I call magic, that could run the whole length, but some of them it's just a healer vibe. They have their what would you call it today, kind of in the metaphysical world, but they would be good healers, hands-on people, and it still resonates with them. It like carries over with them into this life, and some of them it's generational. Grandma had the gift, mom had the gift, and it got passed down to them. In my family, it was on my mom's side. My mom's mother, so my grandmother, would see spirits all the time. She'd talk about a head going down the road smoking a cigarette and would freak the kids out. So and she's from the islands. So that's where the slave ships came over, I think in the 1700s, into Trinidad, and that's where a lot of the different religions came into be, Obia, etc. And so they've learned their different systems there. But so grandma was that, and then on my dad's side, she was tied to Louisiana, more folky. I hesitate to say voodoo, but voodoo folk mixture on my dad's side. So all of that comes together. So it's either by lineage or past life is usually how that works, and I can just pick up on that. So pay attention to the things that you pick up on other people, because that's where you're strongest at, your gifts. Also, people come in, and someone came in and they were talking about someone who did them wrong, and they wanted like just to stomp their head in, right? And she was just like, "Oh, I don't really wish her any harm, but yeah, I really would like for blah 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 to happen to her." And of course, my friend, being older and being a shaman, didn't say anything about that. But me in my head, I'm like, thinking, heck yeah, because, being a spirit worker, getting my hands dirty, that kind of really sparked me. But in another sense, even though I'm still young, I feel like I'm entering that crone stage almost, where it's like, okay, we have to be responsible a little bit more, or a lot more responsible with the gifts that we've been given. And we don't go running around just zapping people and doing things that we used to do when we were younger, and had these gifts. So I think we're more accountable when we're older. So it kind of makes you think, even though it kind of sparked and got me like, ooh, that's something that I'd like to get my hands in or dirty. At the same time, it's like, well, maybe not. It makes you double think some of the things, I think, as you get older. So yeah, because if I were younger, that I would. It's probably an opportunity I might have jumped at, is doing some of that spirit work. And then I guess another item I wanted to mention, I had to write these down so I didn't forget all of it. I usually don't have any issues as far as, dealing with people being attacked and things like that. Remember, each time you're attacked, and I'm talking psychically, spiritually, it's an opportunity for you to learn, right? So it's an opportunity for you to tighten your physical building surroundings, with, the word isn't coming to me right at the moment. Sorry, again, I had a long day, all day in class. But to set wards, it's an opportunity to beef up your security by putting different things on your roof, different things internal to you, different guardians and different protectors out there, and mask yourself well, because for the first time in a long, long time, I'm having to deal with something which is just really interesting. And sometimes it takes more than just a quick snap of the finger to get rid of it. Sometimes it is almost, as a friend of mine called it, an exorcism, where you are having to do this and perform this on yourself in order to in order to scrub it. It's like layer after layer, and it takes time. It's not a quick snap like maybe it normally would. But that also tells me that I'm growing. That also tells me I'm exceeding to different levels. And I've passed the other levels that are now behind me. So, try to choose to do things that, I use the word karma, but I mean, I've had my share of, bad things in my life, or my earlier days. But as you get older, I think you start to realize that you need to balance that out somehow. You can't keep going on that same path and not attract it, right? Not attract it back to you. So, anyways, I had some ideas because a lot of what I do deals with death. And it's something more fun, anyways, to me. But I think what I'll start doing, because I have what I call it my museum of death. And I'm a collector. And if you've gotten this far in the film, well, in the movie, in the video, I sound really old now to you young ones. Then you deserve to hear it. But I think I'm going to start taking pieces that I have and doing videos on them and explaining to you what they are, how old they are, how I use them, and so you can expand your repertoire, I guess, or expand your knowledge base, your toolkit on death items. So I know the necromancy videos have been my most popular. And I know I've gotten a lot of questions that I apologize I haven't been able to answer yet. And there are some very interesting questions that really make my mouth water, and I want to get in an answer. There are quite a few actually. If you asked a question on necromancy, it was probably a few of you. So please give me more time to answer those. And I'm going to do more things on death because that's just what I enjoy. I love, I crave it. That is my niche. That much I know. I think I'm trying to figure out if going the road of medium, which is, I believe, what I am, but strengthening that gift, which I realized through a friend of mine that being around other mediums is what actually helps me strengthen my gift. And my friend was so funny because he was like, okay, it's obviously not being around psychics because, you know, he's a psychic, but even though, anyways, well, so being around my other friend who she's a psychic. She has all of the gifts, and is also a medium. My gifts did, he was right, start opening up, and I was able to start seeing without having to go into meditation for the most part the spirits that were there. And so I think it just takes time in me working on it. And so I think it will just take a little time. But I would be happy doing that, being able to counsel people, mental health counseling, but also being able to offer spiritual counseling. I would love that, slash mediumship. So, anyways, I've talked way longer than I thought I would. I wanted to share my heart and my mind with you guys. So, if you listened and followed this all the way through, I will pick an item for my next video, I believe is what I'm going to do. And I will enjoy that a lot. And I think you will too. I collect antiques and I collect a lot of death things, really creepy, cool stuff. And my goal one day, and I've never said this in public, so you guys will be the first ones on this small YouTube channel to hear this. My goal one day is to take my large collection and to actually have it in a museum where people can, my own museum, where people can come and see it and appreciate all of it for what it's worth. But I want you, those who are spiritual, to know how you can use it, how to connect, what you can do with it, what was it used for, how old is it, and how do you feel who used it before you. So it's some pretty cool stuff. So anyways, I better go. This is a long video, but I haven't been on here in a couple months. You guys hang in there. Side note, PSA for every, with everything going on in the world, hang tough. COVID really knocked us for a loop, not getting to anything political. Stay out of all that shit, okay? Like, stay out of the drama. Pull yourself back into your household. Pull yourself back into you, your spiritual mind. Focus on your being. You see what I'm doing, right? I'm trying to focus on myself, getting myself strong for whatever's to come, right? I say for this war to come, whatever's coming our way, get yourself strong and focused and not sucked in by society's bullshit, because that's what this is. Don't get sucked in, okay? So keep focused, keep studying, keep pressing in, keep working. Just go beast mode, right? Just keep pressing in, because nobody gives a crap about you. Like, meaning other than your internal circle, you got to know who has your back. Now is the time to know who has your back. So keep those people and cherish those people. in your life. Help who you can, but make sure you have for yourself first. You have to make sure you have for yourself, then you help others. That's fair. That's cool. So I felt like I had to say that. I'm not even sure what to title this because a lot of it was a rant, but a lot of it was just sharing some of my findings from working with other people that come in to up in the shop, and I thought it was interesting. So maybe next week I'll have another story for you, and I will bring a really cool piece in to show you guys. I appreciate my current audience. You guys are great. Thank you for supporting me. And if you haven't already subscribed, please like this video. And I'm going to try to start posting more content. I really want to connect more with you guys. So hope you guys have a good day, good evening, wherever you're at. And thank you again. See you next time.